The following contest scheduled for one fall.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to One Fall Friday, and we have a winner for the very first Mae Young Classic, and it is Kyra Sane. She did in fact win, and I couldn't have been happier. I don't know if my roommates heard me cheering or not whenever I was watching the final match, but yeah, I was so happy that she actually won this match. It kind of worked out how I was starting to think that it was going to work out. They built Shana up as, like, you know, the kind of a Brock Lesnar of the female division, and you know, I was hard on her last week, and I mean, I don't take back anything I said. I stand by what I said. I don't think she should have been in the finals, but she does have potential. I don't think I mentioned that. I mean, I don't want to just completely shit on her. She does have potential. She's got a lot to learn, though. She still has a whole lot to learn. And so that's why I think that she really didn't deserve to be in the final match. The final match, I think, should have been, you know, like I said, after the first round. It happened in the first round. It should have been Tessa Blanchard versus Kyra Sane. That's the kind of story that I wanted to see. That's the kind of story that I was hoping they would have told me. I get why they did what they did. You know, they built Shana up. She's this big, dominant person, and then you got Kyra Sane, who's, you know, 5'1" and a $105 sopping wet. And, you know, so she's the ultimate underdog going into this, and especially after Shana had a couple of dirty wins. Well, it wasn't really a dirty win. It was just kind of like dirty actions after the match. So I understand why they did that, and they did tell a good story. You know, Kyra sold the first 3/4 of that match. She sold her ass off. She was taking everything and making it look good and really selling very well. And then she, you know, got her high point, and they had, you know, she got all of her stuff in, and there was still a little bit of a back and forth, and Shana got the rear naked choke in, because that's her second move. Her first move is a gut-wrench suplex rollover, another gut-wrench suplex, and her second move is the rear naked choke. And that's all she really showed in this match. And it's like, come on, you guys. Tessa Blanchard and Kyra, they tore the house down. They had by far the best match of the tournament, and I think I would have rather have seen them in the finals than Shana, but the end result was the end result. I kind of figured Kyra was going to win, and she did, and history was made, and I'm sure a lot of these women are going to have opportunities and even a future in NXT. Yeah, I don't know who they're signing or who they want to sign, but slowly and surely they'll roll them out, and, you know, we'll get who we get. Speaking of NXT, it has been confirmed now that Monday Night Raw has picked up Asuka. They had a bit of a segment, you know, promoting her during this previous Monday Night Raw, and it said coming soon. Now that kind of, I understand that, because from what I've heard, she actually has a broken tailbone, and that's like kind of another reason why they went ahead and decided to have her move up to the main roster. They didn't talk about it on NXT. They were just talking about her, you know, seeking newer challenges and shit like that. So, you know, how long before we see Asuka on Monday Night Raw? I'm not sure. You know, coming soon could be, you know, how long did they tease Emelina? You know, coming soon. Who knows? So this week on Monday Night Raw, we're 2 weeks away from, I think it's No Mercy. Shame on me for not knowing. I'm pretty sure it's No Mercy, the next Monday Night Raw pay-per-view that's coming up. So we get one more week of TV before the pay-per-view, so not really a whole lot going on. Roman Reigns and John Cena has been, you know, the big talk of this event, you know, other than the Universal title match, because that's going to be a good match. But yeah, John Cena, Roman Reigns, hasn't really been a whole lot of physical altercation between these two. It's just a lot of shit talking and, you know, stuff on Twitter going on. They've been on a Twitter war even before this match was booked, so that's kind of like carried over and helping, you know, set the stage. 1 week, John Cena had a match with Jason Jordan. And it took him, I think, 15-20 minutes to win the match, and Roman was giving him shit. Well, it wouldn't have taken me that long. So, of course, the following week, he had a match with Jason Jordan, and it wasn't no quick deal like he thought it was going to be. And it shouldn't have been, because Jason Jordan is incredible, and he has a bright future. I look to see Jason Jordan to be maybe even WWE champion someday. At the very least, he should be a mid-card champion, Intercontinental, United States, one of those two. He's already been NXT Tag Team title. He's been Smackdown Tag Team, I said title. He's been Smackdown Tag Team champion. So, but his singles career it's really, really good. And Chad Gable even had, I mean, he's with Shelton Benjamin now, and that's cool. I'm glad that Shelton Benjamin finally made it back to WWE. It was like teased a long time ago that he was coming, and then for some reason, I guess they had to like scrap that or prolong it, but he's finally here now. He's teamed up with Chad Gable. They're doing great over on SmackDown, but even before that happened, when Chad was having singles matches with AJ Styles and somebody else, I can't remember, he was great. Him and Jason Jordan, they can stand alone as singles and they can make a big impact and have a great career if they choose to. Right now, Chad Gable's still in the tag team picture, and Jason Jordan, he's coming up. I'm not sure. Here's the thing, The Miz, I'll just go ahead and say him and Maurice, they're having their first baby, so that's kind of cool. But he's been having a lot of mix-ins with a lot of different talents on Monday Night Raw, and No Mercy is almost here, and we haven't even had, you know, a announcement of an opponent for him, if he's gonna have an opponent at No Mercy for the IC Championship. Maybe it's gonna be Jason Jordan, I don't know, but they haven't really booked that. They've been having, he went up against Finn Balor one week, he went up against John Cena, and then he went up against Roman Reigns. And so, I mean, like, he had mentioned it before when he was talking about, you know, going up against Finn Balor, that he did want, you know, to go up against The Miz for the IC title. But Kurt Angle was like, no, not right now, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, so The Miz, he's been like, I can't remember who he's been mixing it up with the last couple of weeks. I know that he was getting involved with John Cena and Roman Reigns in their business for a while. And last week, well, not last week, just this past Monday, he had a big altercation with Enzo Amore. You know, he was talking about his announcement about having a baby, and he was going to give this big long speech, and here comes Enzo, and so they kind of have a fight, or no, they end up having a match, and Enzo lost. Enzo is going up against Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship. That should be pretty interesting. I don't really know what to expect. I've only seen a little bit of Enzo's single competition. He didn't look terrible, but he didn't look spectacular either. Definitely not nearly as good as Neville. Neville just has that natural talent. He's just really, really good. I really don't think Neville will lose the title to him. I mean, there's always a possibility that he will. And if he does, I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be upset because I like Enzo. I think he's a great personality, and he's probably one of the best talkers that they have right now. But I'm getting all over the place right now, and I don't know the point I'm trying to make. But if The Miz doesn't have an opponent for No Mercy, I mean, we thought we heard a lot from him about not competing at SummerSlam. He's going to have a field day about not competing at No Mercy. The Raw Women's Championship has gone from a one-on-one between Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss to a fatal four-way. Again, here we go, another fatal four-way with Nia Jax and Emma. I think it's great that Emma is in this match. I don't think Nia is going to come out on top, because from what I've heard, there's definitely going to be, well, this Monday, you know, I mean, it's already going to happen. This Monday, there's going to be a one-on-one match with Alexa and Nia Jax. But from what I've heard, they're planning on Alexa keeping the title after No Mercy, and then further on down the road, they're going to have a one-on-one with her and Nia Jax, and maybe then Nia Jax will win the championship. But for now, I believe what I'm hearing, and I'm pretty sure that Alexa's going to keep the title, but I don't want to go over any predictions right now. We're going to save that for next week. All right, let's talk about SmackDown for a little bit. SmackDown was at Las Vegas, Nevada, so it was kind of a big event. They were calling it Sin City SmackDown, And they booked a lot of good matches for this event. We had 3 title matches. The first one was the tag team title match, New Day versus the Usos in a Sin City street fight. Now, I was expecting Xavier Woods to be involved in this match since it was, a street fight, no disqualifications. So I figured they would take, the advantage and play the numbers game. But no, they just brought out Kofi and Big E, I guess maybe to prove a point that they didn't need Xavier, that they, only needed to beat them, which they did. And the New Day are now 4-time tag team champions. Does this mean they're going to have another go-around at Hell in a Cell? Probably. Am I upset? Absolutely not. I've said it numerous times. These guys work so well together. It's magic. It's that chemistry that you don't really see a whole lot of anymore. I think the last person that I saw, or the last people rather, that really mixed well together was AJ Styles and John Cena. Another title match that we saw that night was the United States Championship, AJ Styles versus Ty Dillinger. It was a pretty good match. It wasn't like a great match. It's AJ Styles, and he's awesome, and Ty Dillinger, and he's awesome as well. So I really don't think they tried to, I think, I don't know, maybe it was because the Usos and the New Day was a tough act to follow, I'm not sure. But I kind of felt like they were holding back a little bit. They had a good match, don't get me wrong, it was a great match. But it wasn't one of those, oh man, you really got to watch that match sort of thing. The third title match of the night was the Smackdown Women's Championship match with Naomi against Natalya. Carmella was at ringside. She was sitting at the announcer's desk. That right there told me that she wasn't going to cash in that night, because anytime there is a cash in, it's always like, you don't see it coming. They're in the back and they just come out and decide to take the opportunity. No one has ever just been out, ringside hanging out and then cashed in. That's never happened. And it's not really that exciting. I mean, it's been teased that it was going to happen, but then it ended up not happening. And I think it's better when you don't see it coming like that. It's, if they're not even involved at all, they're not even anywhere near what's going on, and then all of a sudden, boom, their music hits. Here they come with the briefcase. It's like, oh yeah, this is getting good. That's what makes Money in the Bank exciting. Natalya ended up with the win. I didn't really think that Naomi was going to take the title back. And Natalya finally has her chance, and they're going to let her run with it for a good while. I'd say if Carmella does cash in, it'll probably be against Natalya. Maybe that'll be a nice flop from heel to face back for Natalya. And because, really, I don't know who would make a good rival opponent for Carmella at this point. She's good in the ring, but she's not somebody that you have to see wrestle, especially, against somebody else. They haven't found that right opponent for her yet. At least I don't think they have. And the big story of the night was the altercation between Vince McMahon and Kevin Owens. Vince showed up to address the situation that had happened last week with Shane attacking Kevin Owens. And I called this from a mile away. I can't remember if I said it in last week's vlog or not. I'm going to have to double check once I'm done recording this. But I know I at least made a comment on one of WWE's posts on Facebook. I called it from a mile away, and we got exactly what I called. Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon inside Hell in a Cell. This is going to be a really good match. I can't wait to see this match. I've never seen Kevin Owens. Well, I don't think Kevin Owens has ever been in a Hell in a Cell. Shane's been in a few now, and every time he's involved in a Hell in a Cell match, it's always worth the watch. The last one that he did was, obviously The Undertaker. And man, a lot of people were talking shit, oh, it's not going to be a good match. It's an old guy and Shane McMahon. It was one of the best matches of that night. And Shane, he's such a risk taker. I know he's going to do something crazy in this match. But what was cool about this altercation between him and Vince was, they made the deal. It's okay, I'm going to reinstate Shane, and, we're going to settle this in a match. And he's like, well, you have to promise not to sue me whenever I beat up your son or something like that. And so they shook hands, and you know the microphone was down, and you could see Vince talking, and I guarantee he was telling him, "You son of a bitch, you better headbutt me for real, and if you don't, I'm gonna kick the ever living shit out of you," or something to that extent. He was telling him. I know Vince was telling him, you know, lay it in, you know, don't be soft on me, you know, you don't take it easy on me because I won't take it easy on you, something to that extent. You know, he said it to Shawn Michaels before their match at WrestleMania that one year, and I know he said something similar to Kevin. And Kevin, he headbutt the fuck out of Vince McMahon, boom, and he falls back, and immediately blood just starts coming out of his. I mean, he's 70 years old, so his skin is not as thick as it used to be. It's very, very, you know, when you get older, your skin gets thinner, and you know that's why old people are cold all the time. It's just a fact. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting him to take that. I was just so surprised. I was like, whoa, some things just never change with Vince McMahon, apparently, no matter how old he gets. You know, he wants things to be as believable as possible. So he takes that headbutt like a champ, and blood just starts pouring out, and he gets up, and you know, he keeps knocking him back down. Just classic Vince McMahon. It was one of the best segments I've seen in a while, and it was really, really good. I'm just gonna stop gushing about it. So it happened, and the match is on with him and Shane, Hell in a Cell. It's gonna be a good match. Well, that's gonna do it for me this week. Like, you know, not a whole lot going on. We're building up towards No Mercy. I'm not sure when the next NXT TakeOver event is going to be. If it's going to be maybe close to Royal Rumble. It seems like they like to do the takeovers near the major pay-per-view events. Maybe not even like, you know, the major ones, sometimes just like the Raw or Smackdown exclusives, but it's usually around another WWE pay-per-view that they like to do the takeover events. That way they can just book the arena for the entire weekend and have everything done right there. But next week's vlog, we're going to be talking about No Mercy. We're going to go over all the matches. We're going to go over my predictions, and we'll go from there. But until then, thank you guys very much for watching this episode. I'll be back later with another video. I hope to see you there. My name is Dave, and I am the One Man Rave. See ya!